Wilson from Beach City, coming to you live from the Young Starters event here at Noosa Junction, at Junction 2, and I'm here with Theresa Schmidt from CQ University. How are you, Theresa?
I'm well, thank you. Very excited to be here tonight as part of Startup Week and a program that we're very excited to be sponsoring.
Yep.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about the university's involvement in this program and Innovate Noosa?
Yes. So we're a sponsor of the program, and Innovate Noosa, it was their kind of, I think, they've driven it, and we've sponsored to come in to provide, I guess, some support and to encourage young people to come along, learn to deliver a pitch, learn to develop, and then pinch that out to potential investors, or to find people that might help them to make their kind of wild ideas or dreams a reality.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to develop the networks, and so I think as a university we've got access to networks, we've got access to people with expertise and the ability to identify pathways for them to find their way, whichever that may be.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that's part of what Beach City's all about, is an alternate pathway, entrepreneurship and celebrating entrepreneurial lifestyle. And so it's not for necessarily everybody that necessarily wants to go to university, or even if they do go to university, you're now moving out into those areas of entrepreneurship and in the innovation space.
Yeah, exactly. And our university is a little different too, because many of our students don't come straight out of school. Some do, and they're very successful, and we really support them. Sorry, I've got a bug on my face.
That's all right. You're allowed to have a bug.
Yeah,
We're in the tropics.
But we do have people that work and study, or they might work for a while and then study. They might, combine it. They might have a great idea and they start off doing, and then they find, I really need to learn something, and they come and do a program, and then that helps them to take their project to the next stage.
Yeah.
So it's a really practical and I think very flexible way of learning. It's, that meets the real world needs.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things, from my own personal opinion, is in entrepreneurship is practical experience. There's nothing beats going out, having a go, trial and error, fail, succeed, whatever, pick yourself up, go again. Nothing really replaces that in entrepreneurship.
No, absolutely. I think so. I've had that experience myself back in the olden days.
I know the ones you're talking about.
Yeah. I worked in fashion, and I guess there weren't a lot of, there's not a lot of big manufacturers or design houses in. There are some in Australia, but on the Sunshine Coast, if I wanted to stay here, I really needed to do that myself, and so very quickly I had to develop those entrepreneurial kind of skills.
Yep.
And I think that then some people are just born with that desire to do that, but it really helps to be connected with people who can give you feedback, who can help you, who can give you advice without telling you what to do, but to coach you and guide you and just put you on to, put you in touch with people who might be able to help you, or just give you one little break.
One little gold nugget you take away from any engagement or meeting or conference, then it's worthwhile.
Yes.
And from an economic perspective on the Sunshine Coast, how important it is things like Startup Week and these types of group like Innovate Noosa, and there's other groups all spread across the coast, and we've certainly experienced it over the last 4 days.
Oh, Startup Week is huge for the Sunshine Coast. I think, we are really at the beginning of a transformational change in our lifestyle and our economy, and I think that these kinds of we were just talking about, actually, is it wise to throw so many events into 1 or 2 weeks? And maybe for those of us who are going to all of the events...
From my perspective, no.
Yeah, I know. How many times have we seen each other this week?
That's right.
But the excitement is all around. It's like a festival of events. So maybe we should call it the Startup Festival, and then we'd be really... But it is...
We can do it for a month.
Yeah, exactly. So we just, I think it is probably good to have it concentrated in that week to maintain the excitement, get people talking, get them connected, and then I guess the important thing is that we follow up in a few weeks, months, and I believe there are some strategies in place to do that, because otherwise, that excitement very quickly
Very
just
died
dissipate.
down. So yes, there's got to be continuity. Otherwise, it's a bit of a bubble, and everyone pops champagne corks, and then it's all over.
Yeah, all talk, no action. We don't want that. You want to keep that sustained effort.
Yeah. I think what I've witnessed here this week is that it's still a very early stage ecosystem in its development, but there's certainly enough of the nucleus around to start to build out on that. And it'll be really interesting to see how it grows over the next year or two, and then be back here in 2 years' time and see what it looks like then.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we are just at the right stage to start that, because we have got so many people who've got entrepreneurial skills, who've given it a go, and they're willing and ready to help others do that as well. We've kind of got everything in the right place to do that.
Things in place to do
that.
Yeah. Now, I know this is part of Noosa Shire, but then the Sunshine Coast Regional Council, 2 different shires, but both collaborating and working together to make this happen as a regional thing.
Fantastic.
I mean, it is. It's great to see that collaboration.
Yeah.
What we witnessed today was down at the Caloundra Smart Centre, and I think you mentioned you hadn't been there yet.
No, I've got to go there.
You've got to go. You've got to go there. What a beautiful place! Kings Beach and Moffat Beach and everything, just fantastic. I mean, I've been down there many years ago, but I hadn't really. It's always Caloundra's on the end of it's on the way back to Brisbane type of thing. But it was just magnificent, and the smart city stuff they're doing there is fantastic. So if you haven't been down to the Smart Centre of Caloundra, at 63 Bullcock Street, you've got to go and do it and just see the sort of technologies that they're looking at rolling out across this region over the coming years. So that's really exciting.
And just go to Caloundra anyway, because it's a good place.
Caloundra's a good place, as is Noosa. And on that note, we will leave it there. Thank you very much for talking with us, Theresa. And we'll be back with some more people soon.